it's coupled with the business trust. We use the trust as the entity. There's thousands of different types of trust. This happens to be a complex business trust, which basically kind of more resembles a C Corp or an LLC type of entity than it does what we would think of typically like a living trust, which is something we set up for probate. Dan's kind of been introduced to the deferred sales trust for about 6 months, but really about 30 days ago is when he kind of did the deep dive as he came on full time. So Dan, A, what questions do you think someone might have as far as basics right now? And B, what questions do you have at this point, 30 days in?
It's such an amazing, benefit to people that are exiting high equity investments. And so I've just been blown away, but there's a lot of terminology and there's a lot of details that kind of were tripping me up in the beginning that I'm sure our listeners will feel the same way about. So, maybe defining some terms in the beginning. I've heard you say that the DST is a seller carryback combined with a business trust. Can you explain how that works?
Absolutely. So the foundation of the structures was called an installment sale, or IRC 453, which is known as a seller carryback, where a seller can become the bank. So the best way we typically know banks when financing is on like an investment property or a business loan or a primary house, where we're asking the bank to loan us the money so that we can go buy an asset, right? We can give a down payment and they can give the rest of the loan. Well, now, once you own the asset, you want to sell the asset. Well, guess what? Especially if you have a lot of gain, a lot of equity built up, then you can become the bank, right? You can loan back to somebody else. And that's the foundation of an installment sale, meaning you're going to take in installments, smaller amounts over time, and pay tax as you receive it. Now, it's coupled with the business trust. We use the trust as the entity. There's thousands of different types of trust. This happens to be a complex business trust, which basically kind of more resembles a C Corp or an LLC type of entity than it does what we would think of typically like a living trust, which is something we set up for probate. But that trust itself is a single entity that only does business with you, and it has a third-party trustee. That's our role to be able to actually transact and make this thing work. So hopefully that answers the question, Dan.